in what point Orange Cassidy, Jungle Boy, or all these guys look like a wrestler? I'm 6'2", 225, 230 at that time. And he said, you got to gain some muscle. And I'm working my ass off, training hard, changing diet and everything. Then here comes another thing. You got to change your singlet. You got to look like Jinder Mahal.
The Acclaimed Max Caster changing the match on the fly.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, very, the guy was like, shooting at me and stuff. And again, Bowens was really, very, very professional. It's a very interesting thing about the matches. They call a lot of spots in the back. They forgot their own spot where Bowens tag Caster and then Bowens pinned me. 1, 2, 3. We went to the back. So Bowens tag Caster was supposed to be the legal man. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not really exposing anything. I'm just exposing the tag team champions right now of the company, how big of idiots they were back then. But anyway, sorry, Bowens. So they went back and Tony was, I believe he was upset and we had to go back and fix it. We went back and there was no fans. There was nothing there. And the Big Show, Paul White, got up and he said, we need you to be taking any more bumps. Just tag Caster, drop the elbow, pin 1, 2, 3. They didn't listen. They still wanted to get their shit in. And they gave me, I don't know, whatever the move said they called. They gave me one more thing. And after the match, I got a chance to talk to Big Show, Paul White, and there's a reason guys like him are in this business. A legend, such a legend. Gave me some advice and told me like, this is how this business is. Don't worry about it. And when you get a chance on Monday, just watch it. I did my best to put you over, and I was like, all right, he's just saying just to make me feel better. On Monday, they aired the YouTube, and I was watching the match, me and Baron Black, and here I am. They're beating the shit out of me, and the Big Show and Tony Schiavone. They were saying, "Oh, this guy Vineesh, what a great guy! He knows the history of professional wrestling. Yeah, he's cool." I was like, "Whoa, these guys have really put me over." Yeah. Even though I'm taking all these beatings, they didn't have to do it. But again, I'm grateful. To Paul for doing that. But again, after that, there's a thing called in-ring psychology. There was nothing on that match. If you go back and watch it, you can see a lot of stupid things for no reasons. But anyway, that's how they've been doing it from day one. And I'll be honest with you, Max, I wish I could go back and delete my existence in AEW page because that got me nothing. When I was already establishing my name in the indies, and now promoters wanted to put me on the flyers saying AEW Dark, as you've seen on AEW Dark, right? Yeah. And I'm reaching out to some of the promoters for opportunities. So they were like, "Oh, you're reading on AEW? Send me the matches." And I sent my match with Colt Cabana, which is decent, which is good, nothing big, fancy, but it was good. Yeah. And obviously they find out about the second match, and they're like, "Dude, you're taking all the beatings. We can book you, but we won't be able to give you the amount of money you're asking for. But we can put you with our champion for 5 minutes." Wow. Look at what AEW Dark got me, right? And then, man, it was bad. It was a bad vibe. 2 times I was there. There were guys, the couple of people that I met there. It was a negative vibe. I saw how they were kind of like, treating others differently. And especially with QT Marshall, with his students, whenever he brings any Nightmare Factory students, and especially, I'm just talking for me, like behalf of myself. And it wasn't good. It was not a really good vibe that I was getting. I've said it previously, again, the whole Big Swole situation. I remember she's such a sweetheart. She's one of the amazing people that I ever met. She works her ass off every single time when she's in the ring. She actually She's a driver. She's the captain of that ring. You know, she knew how to connect with the audience and everything. And I remember there was two girls came there, barely had any experience in this business, chopped her on her throat, on her neck, and she was nobody, and she was feeling pain. She was in pain, and she was in the back, and no one gives a about her. And I remember talking to her that time. It's like nobody approached her, no doctors, nothing. That was bad. That was really bad. Nobody cared. And of course she left. And I remember there was a tweet. Tony said she wasn't good.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then where Marco Stunt or Joe Janela stands.
Neither of them work for AEW anymore. Marco and...
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course, they all got released way after all these things happened. And I believe Leo Resch supported her. Then second day, he changed his opinion. And again, man, after all this, I went back again. I'm doing my thing, hoping. But even at this point, I still talk. I still can communicate in 6 different languages. It doesn't like I forgot the language. No. So I still can communicate in 6 different languages. And now QT's telling me, okay, you got to change your look. You got to look like a wrestler. So in what point Orange Cassidy, Jungle Boy, or all these guys look like a wrestler? You know, I'm 6'2", 225, 230 at that time. And he said, you got to gain some muscle. And I'm working my ass off, training hard, changing diet and everything. Then here comes another thing. You got to change your singlet. You got to look like Jinder Mahal. You got to come up with a singlet that looks very familiar, similar to Jinder. And I'm thinking, why would I mean, I was okay. I will do it. I pitched a couple of designs to QT, and he picked one of the designs in which I ended up making it. Why would you really even want it to make something that looks familiar to some other wrestler in another company? You know, anyway, I didn't really care. I wanted to get a contract. And so that has been taken care of, put some muscles, changed my gear. What's next? And he was kind of like, okay, you know, I'm asking him, so do I need to change my wrestling style? He's like, your wrestling style is fine. Your wrestling is good. And I'm asking him, how about like, do you want me to learn acrobatic gymnastic things? You know, I can go learn some gymnastics. And he was like, no, everything is fine. And then he said, we have plans for India. At that time, I believe WWE did a show for Indian Republic Day or something. So he was saying that, oh, we have a plan for India. We're going to hire more Indian wrestlers and we're going to do some shows for India. So we have something. He changed a little by little. And then I remember, hey, man, we don't have any plans. And I'm still living in my factory, coming there for 3-4 days a week. And long story short, man, I asked him one day, I messaged him, I asked him, hey, just wanted to ask you, can you give me an honest answer? What's going to happen to my contract? Do you think I'm going to get anything out of it? Because time is ticking, clock is ticking, time is moving. You know, we got to know what's happening. And he said, I don't think you will ever come back. I don't think you will get anything because you have a heat. You overstayed. You overstayed when? when I went there for the first time. There are bigger things in this world, my friend. And I was mentioning earlier, Queen passed away. We have earthquakes, floods. We have natural disaster and wars going on between Russia and Ukraine. And you have a heat. Why? Because you overstayed. He's one of them.
Felt like you did anything that would have. I mean, you spoke about you had an interaction with Moxley where you kind of wanted to do is essentially what QT guided you to do, and kind of don't stay too long. Do you feel as though maybe it was kind of Moxley and that lot got you in trouble just because you wanted to do as you were told, but at the same
according
time,
to him?
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, according to him, yeah, but according to him, I overstayed, and I remember he said, "Hey, Moxley's and he gets drunk," and Moxley spoke to me for like 5 minutes, but then Rocky Romero and Excalibur showed up, and they were talking to each other. I was just kind of like stuck in that table, I couldn't really get up and walk away. I didn't want to be disrespectful,
Right.
But again, it's all kind of like sounds very silly, and I had enough, man. I had to say this is all I ever wanted. I didn't want it first, but then I was putting effort. I was investing myself. Go to Japan. I went to Mexico. God, man, the reception, the respect I've been getting there was awesome. I got a chance to train with Chacha Jr. in his dojo. Got a chance to talk to Ultimo Guerrero from CML. People respect wrestlers, and they will tell you to your face if there's anything wrong. You got to change, you got to learn, you got to adapt, and you got to understand. And here I am. I was there at the Nightmare Factory facility for like a whole year, maybe more than that. Every single day, trying my best, asking him what I need to do, asking him for the right advice. Whenever he's at the facilities, like, he gives me some opinions about certain moves, but apart from that, he would never told me, hey, this is what we want from you. This is the style we were looking for you from you, and this is what exactly we needed. And none of these things ever happened. And it's so much, man. There's just so much pressure on guys and girls their head. You don't want to rub people in the wrong way. Then you get heat, you get blackballed, which is not a real thing, but still, it's a different world. This is what people don't understand. Pro wrestling, especially independent wrestling scenes, and with AEW and all, the amount of pressure that people get is insane. Nobody want to stand up for themselves. Nobody want to come out and say, this is what I've experienced. Looking back, the people who came out, they all got buried. People are talking like Swole, Big Swole came out. Then who else? Like, even if anybody says something, of course, the social media is a different place. They will burn you to death. I remember one of my videos got leaked. Again, those videos that came out, it wasn't me. I was doing a YouTube live to promote my podcast, Shoot and Still Wrestling podcast. And it was just a group of people were asking me, throwing me a bunch of names. And like I mentioned to you earlier before, I was just simply answering. I wasn't really burying the entire company. Whoever downloaded, they did a good job. They edited a lot of things and they posted out there. The things, certain things I said, I still stand behind it. Like CM Punk, he was well, if you ask me if he's a racist, I don't know. But at that moment when that happened, that's the first thing came to my head. Oh, maybe he didn't like me. Because later, after all these things happened, after that video came out, I got a chance to talk to a few of my friends, and they told me they had very similar experiences with Phil Brooks. So I was like, all right, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with me here for thinking that way. But again, whoever uploaded that, and I'm kudos and thankful to that person because it gave me a platform to stand up for myself and tell the story. Yeah. There's so many guys and girls out there still struggling to make it. People who've been busting their asses for years and years, and they're getting used in a really bad way. I remember there was another guy, he was invited to do AEW Park. He was body slammed by Will Hobbs 10 times. 10 times a body slam, and next thing we know, he's retired from pro wrestling.
So,
why? What are you trying to accomplish here? What are you trying to achieve here now? And again, there are things. There's a lot of things he said. QT Marshall to me. I remember those videos came out. He sent me a text. Hey, when did you experience a racial discrimination? I was like, you know when it experienced.
So you have had talks with QT Marshall or Tony Khan? You had talks with since the videos emerged.
Yeah.
What? How did that go? Like, I should imagine. Like, how did they feel towards your comments? Doing anything about it is the other thing, because obviously, by all accounts, you complain. Are they following through with it? Do you feel like they even care enough, or is it a case of you said something bad about the company?
Bro, let me tell you something. If they want to go against me legally, they can. And I have all the text messages, all the messages that this guy sent me. And I kind of like knew something will happen. So I have already printed all kind of messages and everything on the papers. I took a screenshot and everything. I'm not lying about anything. I was sharing my experience. Accusing someone like it's something, you're going out and saying that, hey, this guy purposely did this because so and so and so. I was sharing my experience, everything what I've experienced. That's all I did. And like I said, man, like it's just wrestling. It's like a legend said, it's a grown ass man, a grown ass woman's business where they act like little kids. They have big ego over silly thing.
Yeah, I mean,
That's and again, like I said, like there's so many guys and girls that's still waiting for that moment, that opportunity. And here guys like working their ass, busting their ass for years to get that spotlight, and then you're barely in the business for 6 months, and you get that opportunity, and then boom, you think that you accomplished everything. It's just how it is, and sometimes it doesn't work. For example, I'll give you a name, Jonathan Gresham, one of the best, I would say one of the best technical professional wrestler who's just keeping this business as it is. He didn't bury Harley Race. He didn't bury Bret the Hitman Hart. He'd been respectful towards Ric Flair, Terry Funk, Dory Funk, Stan Hansen, Lutez. All these legends came before us and paid their dues and everything. And where is he? He's not really getting that treatment. Why? Because this is not a hidden secret anymore, because somebody told me to get signed by AEW, you have to hire by WWE and get released by WWE, then you'll get hired by AEW. And I mean, look at their rosters. I don't really watch their shows anymore. But like I said, like, this is the thing. And for me, people told me after the videos came out and viral, it's like, oh man, you're gonna burn the bridges. Oh man, you're gonna get heat. Well, listen, I don't really care. I did more than I ever wanted in my life. I met my heroes. I met the one person I always wanted to meet was Bret the Hitman Hart. I drove 30 plus hours and I met him. I took a picture with him. I met Scott Hall twice, and being awesome, fantastic human being. One of the nicest person I ever met. Never thought in a million years. I always wanted, it was my dream to step inside the WWE Performance Center. I just wanted to see the facility. That's all I wanted. But guess what? I got a tryout. I got a chance to meet Shawn Michaels, not once, twice, more than that. I was invited over back and forth to do NXT, SmackDown. I met the creator of WWE, Vince McMahon, a couple months ago in Greensboro, North Carolina Coliseum. It was a feeling where I've said this before somewhere. You grew up watching all these cartoons, Walt Disney cartoons. You play around with Mickey Mouse, Minnie's, and all Donald Duck and all these cartoons. And one day you got an opportunity to meet the creator, Walt Disney. It was that feeling. I grew up watching all these, matches, all these amazing segments, and Vince McMahon is right in front of me, and I got a chance to talk to him, and he was one of the nicest. He didn't even have to say hi, hello to me, but he did it. And and again, it's my experience with WWE was amazing. They always treated me like I'm one of their families. It was amazing. I never had any discrimination or anything like that. It's just a different vibe. People are amazing. They're awesome. And again, AEW was different. You don't know who should you talk to. You don't know how they're going to respond. Some people are entitled. Some people, that's how they are. And some people smile and then stab you in the back.